Hi everyone, it's Sarah from the Support Worker Store. Today, all right, I've got a confession. Anybody that is named Yvette, I call spaghetti. So Yvette spaghetti. I have quite a few Yvettes in my life, but you're the only Yvette that I've got in training and RTOs. Congratulations, Yvette.
And you know what? Everybody calls me Vetty or Evie or Vettles or you name it. I think I've had it.
Well, you can add spaghetti onto your list now. So if halfway through this podcast I refer to you as spaghetti, please know I mean Yvette.
Good by me.
So I'm going to dive right into it. You ready? We
I'm
got this?
ready.
All
I
right.
think so.
How did you first get started in the care and training sector?
Haha. Well, that is a very interesting, strange, bizarre little journey I have been on. So, originally, back in the 90s, I want to say, maybe something like that, I qualified as a teacher. Right? Your stock standard drama teacher. But I somehow, I like, what the hell am I doing teaching drama? But, which is fun and I loved it. Hey, why not? And like, I kind of was really young. I was like 21 or 22 when I graduated and I was teaching high school. So I'm teaching like year nines, year tens, and year 11s. So not very far in age, you could say. And, it was just like, it was okay. But I thought I'm going to have more fun teaching little people. So then I went on to qualify in early childhood and primary teaching and then did all that, taught little people, loved it so much, started up my own drama school teaching little people. Somehow, when I kind of teach the little kids, I somehow ended up in outside school hours care. And then I was managing this and directing these programs and doing this, that, and the other. And then I fell into training. So, what
Head first.
bizarre. Yeah, it's like, "What? I'm teaching bigger kids now?" Bigger kids, adults, but hey, sometimes there's not much difference.
So I take it training has always been in your blood.
Yeah. Teaching, training, mentoring, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I've always been even when I was, like, at school, I remember I was doing peer support, so, like, I was in secondary school tutoring and looking after the kids in primary school. So that's how far back my teaching goes, I guess you could say.
So you talked about how you did teaching, you've gone into drama school, you did little kids, you did big kids, and now you're an adult. So what inspired you to start Ethical Training Solutions?
Wow, that's a very not a really it's strange, how things happen. So in this instance, I was working for a registered training organization and I was the training manager, training coordinator for early childhood, the diploma and the Cert 3. And I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool and loving it, whatever. And then the owner of that sold out to a larger corporation and I quickly found out my ethics and their ethics weren't aligned, shall we say. And so I'm like, time to go. So I left and I partnered with some RTOs. So I had some partnerships going on and we managed to get students upskilled and trained. And then I got them jobs as well working in childcare. And that was in 2015, in September to be exact.
Yep. So what kind of training does your company offer?
Well, we offer accredited and non-accredited training for the care industry. So you're looking at, your CPD type courses, just your little short courses. And also we do have diplomas and, Cert 3s that we also deliver through our training partners as well.
So any support workers watching this, would they be able to do any training with you? And if
There
so,
is
which
so
ones would
much,
they do?
yeah, there's so much out there. So we have got heaps. So we have got a whole lot of even short courses. Like this week, I just had 9 enrollments in our autism spectrum course. That's an online course that we've been offering. And I just literally made that course of the week in the past 7 days. And I had about 10, no, more than 10, probably more than 10 enrollments in that course. And that was childcare centre directors who want their staff to upskill and also support coordinators and disability providers. That's been a really big course. So we've got courses like that in mental health as well. Also, hopefully all the spots are being taken up for this year, but we're waiting to see what happens next year in terms of your bigger courses for individual support and all that sort of thing. That's a next year one because this year's all full.
Yep. So is it all online or is it in person?
It's mixed. Do a lot of we do a lot of in person and online. I prefer in person. I think people need to get out there and get involved in classes. And the best way to do that
Mhm.
is to get a butt and get into class, and that's where the fun happens. But hey, I understand you got to make learning and education accessible to everyone, and that's where online comes into it as well.
Yep. So what's the favorite, like, what is your favorite part from teaching in your own business?
Think seeing the outcomes. You know, you see someone come to you who wants to work in the care industry, whether it's as a support worker, childcare, whatever, we'll just say care industry, and you watch their journey from when they started to their progression through the course to then working on the
What's the favorite part of running a business?
yeah, that's right. I was yeah, about seeing the student outcomes, seeing people progress in their career. That's really rewarding for me.
Do you get to see them out and about?
Yeah, I do. I have one student actually who's blown me away. She's actually a mature age student. So she came to me when she pretty much retired from her corporate type role and she decided she wanted to go into childcare. So she went in, she did her Cert 3, did her diploma. I still see her. She's now room leader at a childcare centre. So I've seen her progress right through all these years. And I still speak to her every few months. I see her at Christmas time. She sends me photos of, displays she's done. "Oh, look how far I've come. Thank you so much." It's really great seeing things like that.
I think you're touching on a really good topic. It actually doesn't matter where you are in life, your age, your career, you can always pivot and change.
Yeah, definitely. Age is just a number. It means nothing, really.
I look at this like I was talking to somebody the other day. One of the best hires that I ever had in the disability sector was a man that's probably in his late 50s, maybe early 60s. He was a diesel mechanic and he was the best support worker I ever had by far,
Yeah,
hands down. And this was somebody that had a career pivot. Do you
yeah,
get
it's
many?
amazing. I do actually. You know what? Post-COVID, I have noticed a lot of career pivoters, of career changes come in. That's more prominent now, I would say, in the last few years than pre-COVID.
Is it just for people looking for, because the industries that you provide training in is the care industry? Is it people pivoting to get to, like have that warm fuzzy feeling when they turn up to work? Because that's what, aged care, disability, childcare, any care teaching gives us.
Yeah, I think it is. I think a lot of people over that period of time kind of thought about what they were doing, what their future holds. I mean, it was a difficult time for everyone, and a lot of people questioned, I guess, their career choices and wanted to do something more meaningful. And that's where the care industry comes into it. You're actually helping people and making a difference as opposed to other things that you might be doing.
One Melburnian to another, we didn't suffer at all.
Not a time I want to remember.
No, it's not. I've never been so fearful of a puffer jacket in my life. And Andrews, thank you very much.
I was thinking that. I was looking back on my Facebook memories. You know how they come up, every day it says Facebook memories. And they had the donuts, like how many donut days we had from all those years back. And I'm just like, did we live through this? My goodness. It's like crazy.
You've got to wear the suit or the puffer jacket. I just want to be free.
I wish I was so.
So now I did a deep dive because I'm nosy a bit. I am so nosy that I know that you enjoy volunteering roles within your company and how it works. And you've done a heap of volunteering in the past. Tell me more. How does volunteering tie into the company that you currently run?
Yeah, so all the volunteering work I do is care industry or welfare or community focused. So one of yes, I know, right? So I do two at the moment. One of my roles, and I don't want to put which one I love more, but they're both really cool. So one that I do is with Delta therapy dogs. I go out with my dog Daisy and we're placed at a nursing home, but we do other things as well, and we provide care and support to people via animal-assisted therapy, which is the most amazing outcomes and things I have ever seen. I'm so grateful for doing that, helping the community that way. It is phenomenal, the things that go on. It really is. So that's really cool. And then the other one I do is a little bit closer to home, is to do with my cultural heritage. So I'm the secretary of the Castellarese Association of Victoria. So that's a Greek association. We're quite a large association here in Victoria and around Australia. And we've had our centenary year this year. So I've been promoting and supporting our community in all sorts of different events. And one event that I did do with one of my friends was a big history and cultural event for the community, showcasing our history over the past 100 years. And that was really, awesome. Love that.
How do you fit it all in?
Someone said to me a very wise piece of advice. They said, busy people make time. And you know what? That's true. The busier you are, the more things you can tend to fit in your schedule. And that's true. Busy people make time. So how do I do it? I do it because I love it, I do sometimes I'm working 7 days if it's work combined with volunteer work. I
Yeah.
wouldn't change that for the world because volunteering, it gets me out in the community. It opens my eyes to actually what's going on, especially in the care industry, because both those roles are very care focused. And it's like I'm seeing it from a different perspective as well, which is really important. I'm not just the trainer training people. I know the support that people need because I'm out there living it from a different angle, so to speak.
So what got you into it? Because volunteering, it is a love job and it's something that you enjoy, but what got you into it that you so passionately continue? Because a lot of people start volunteering, then they stop.
Yeah, well, funny enough, with Delta therapy dogs, that was another let's see where it takes us thing, another random thing. So back in 2019, my dad was quite sick and he was in a hospital, rehab sort of thing. And he had a dog come visit him, which was from Delta Therapy Dogs. And he used to love walking around with the dog and he had photos of the dog. And then in 2020, dad passed away, but mum decided, let's get a dog. So we rescued a dog called Daisy in the RSPCA. And it turns out Daisy loves people. And I mean, loves people. She needs to be with people. And at that point, I'm like, it would be really cool to do some volunteer work. Maybe I should try Delta therapy dogs. And that's how that started. But I love it. It keeps you going, seeing the outcomes from the residents at the nursing home that we're placed at, seeing how happy they are, how stress-free they become when they see Daisy, because a lot of them had animals that they had to leave behind as well. So, seeing that is what keeps me going. And then on the group side of things, well, it's my heritage, it's my background, it's to do with my grandparents and my parents. And I guess that's just supporting my community and having a closer connection to my cultural heritage. That's how that comes into it.
What keeps you so motivated after working in this sector for so long?
Really, it's the people I meet, the students I see as well, knowing that I'm doing something good to help people and help the community. That's what keeps me going and keeps me motivated. I mean, sometimes there's bad people out there and good people, and I hope the good people outweigh the bad people, and I'm one of the good ones that help do that. I guess is the best way of putting it.
So you've got such hands-on experience in our sector. What's something that you wish people understood about care industry more?
Yeah, well, they need to know that it's not just, some people when it comes to support work, they think maybe it's just taking someone to appointments or take them out for a coffee or, sometimes there's that general kind of feeling. It's not. It's about empathy. It's about having the skills as well. It's about helping people. So, yeah, those type of things. It's not just all giggles and fun. There's actually a lot of work behind it, in both industries, whether it's childcare or, the disability industry. Childcare, you're not just playing with kids, it's not babysitting, you're actually educating the kids. So people need to think about that as they go into the industry.
Have you, when you do your training, there's also placement. Have people being given, like people that you've sent on placement, being given a quite of a shock or a wake up call on placement?
Yes, some have. I would say some kinda come and like, "Oh, I didn't realize we had to do whatever it was. Oh, do we have to do personal care as a support worker?" I go, "Well, you're doing the course, it's kind of part of it." Yeah, like, it's not all just taking someone out for a coffee, there is personal care involved in it. Oh, in the childcare, "What, I have to document a child's learning?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, you're not just there to sit and read a story, you're helping educate this child as well, so, yeah, you do have to do a bit of documentation." Those sort of things I come across a lot, especially when they've been on placement and they will start going, "Oh, I don't wanna get up at 7 o'clock in the morning." It's like, "Tough, this is the industry, welcome." It's like, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I there's been times I wondered how people pass their courses. Like it's care. Like you've got to provide care, and care is in all parts of somebody's life. It isn't just going and having the fun stuff like the movies and going out and buying groceries. There is that personal care element to it, and it's people's undoings at the best of times. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I believe that every business has clues. And when I say leaves clues of how they got successful and how they're able to build, and in your case, you've been around for 10 years. Is that right? 10 years?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 10 years, still here.
What, who, has anyone along the line helped you build your business or supported you through your build?
Look, my family, like, they've been, pushing me along all the time. And teaching me. I come from a business family. My dad was a pharmacist, had his own business. My mum worked in it. So I've kind of been around business my whole entire life. My brother runs his own company as well. It's in our blood. People actually say people who come from Gustalosa, where my grandparents came from, we've got this crazy work ethic in our DNA because our grandparents were such hard workers as well. So I could say my family is what has pushed me, is the best way of putting it.
What advice would you give anyone that's wanting to build a business like yours?
First of all, you have to eat some concrete and harden up is the first thing because it's a tough world out there. That's my honest truth. If you're gonna set up a business, be ready for so many ups and downs. It's not all Lamborghinis and mansions. It's actually a lot of sleeping, late nights, lack of sleep, catching flights, early flights, weird flights, working from airport lounge, working from planes, trains, automobiles. It's tough, right? Be ready for that. But know that you can do it. If you're doing something that you love, like me, I'm doing the work in the care industry. That's what my company is about. I love the care industry. I love, helping people. So to me, it doesn't feel like work or hard work. Yeah, it's tough, but I don't mind because I love what I do. So you have to love what you do to make it worthwhile as well.
It's beautiful. Have you been able to, like, is it just you that in the business, or have you been able to hire anybody else?
Yeah, I was just gonna I do. I mean, there's trainers. I've got a trainer in Adelaide who's does first aid. I've got staff here as well. I've also got this most amazing admin assistant. He's offshore, located overseas, and he's been with me for nearly 3 years. He's amazing. Like he puts up with a lot from me, but yeah, I he helps a lot too.
What makes ethical training solutions different from any other provider on the market?
Well, I know my stuff, I guess. We know what we're doing because we live and breathe the care industry. And also, our name says it all, ethical training solutions. So what we do is backed by ethics. It's not some quick get rich scheme, tick and flick training. It's actually real. Oops.
How do you make training interesting for any learners out there?
Make it fun and interactive. That's what I say when it comes to training. I have famously done some really crazy batshit things in training, but they're all compliant and all ethical. One very famous one is I was teaching at the time, it was quite bizarre. I was teaching, it was work health and safety. I was actually teaching that unit, and I looked out my window and a fire truck pulled up to do just some safety checks as they do. So I just stopped the class. I went out and hijacked the fire truck and said, "Hey, firemen, I'm teaching work health and safety." They're like, "Oh, yeah, we can help with that." So they did some demonstrations of their gear. We talked about safety, fire safety, all that, had photos taken as well. And then we went back in the classroom. So yeah, that's how I make training fun and interactive. That's a true story. It was all legitimate. It was
Seizing
all
the right opportunity.
yeah, so when I see the right opportunity, I do it. Like another one, there was a safety unit again we were doing. So we went for a walk, in the market. There was a market nearby. So we went for a walk in the market to see how unsafe that was. That's relevant as well. I make it a little bit different, I guess, but relevant because it's a real world. I'm not gonna sit there with a PowerPoint if I can help it and read off a bunch of slides. Yeah, I have to do that too. But if I see an opportunity that's relevant to what I'm teaching, let's make it a little bit different and fun, and you'll never forget it.
Sounds like a very memorable. But it's that thing, isn't it? Because training really is like you could do all the teaching stuff on the board, decks of what do you call it, slideshows and all that stuff. But you got to get your hands dirty, and you've got to be able to have these skill sets that expand, and it only expand because you're using them outside a classroom. I get it.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, what skills do you think everyday good support workers, carers, childcare workers, aged care workers should have?
They need to have empathy to start with. Ethics as well, but also really good skill set, lots of really good training and lots of relevant training as well. And then use that training because if you're not skilled, yeah, you can be as empathetic and as ethical as possible, but you kind of need to know what you're doing at the same time, right? Combine all that together and you'll be an awesome care worker.
So, with your courses that you deliver, how do you make sure that you stay up to date with any changes that are happening in the NDIS and aged care sector?
Yep. So I myself, like a student, I'm always reading things. I'm always doing professional development. If there's a webinar, I will join up to it. If I can't watch it, I'll watch the replay, to do with the NDIS sector, disability childcare. I'm forever reading. I'm participating in networking sessions. I'm forever updating, so I've got the correct info always. I know how many changes there can be in both sectors, so I'm constantly learning, and that's what I do as a trainer and as an educator. I can't educate my students if I'm not up to date myself.
So, do you help your students find a job after they complete their course, or is that something that they've got to go
Yeah.
on to look for themselves?
Yeah, no, I do help them the best to my ability. I do have contacts out there in the industry. So I will put my feelers out and try and find them a position through my network. Doesn't always happen because some people, due to location or, things like that, won't take up a job and that's up to them. That's fine. But I try and give people as much opportunity as I can.
So, besides that, you also run a Facebook group that involves the community. And I've noticed because I'm nosy, right, that
Good.
you have begun doing some more networking opportunities. Can you give us some examples or what you've got planned in the next couple of events for networking opportunities?
Yeah. So we have just started just this year doing some free networking opportunities. And that's really just bringing people together because I believe we learn better as a community, not from just, being separate. And also, let's be honest, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it is, it can be toxic as hell out there, right? And sometimes we just need to come together in a safe space. And that's what I'm trying to provide. But I kind of come up with that idea. Let's do a bit of a connection and learn. So let's combine professional development with networking to make it a useful opportunity for everyone. So that's what we're currently working on. We're going to hopefully soon. We were going to do it in November, but no, in October, we had to cancel a few sessions because I got sick. So we're trying to find another opportunity to do them. But we're looking at doing mental health training and networking in one. So, about mental health support for first responders and combining that with networking. So you're networking, but you're learning. So you're connecting and learning.
So do you do this at a cafe, in a library? Where do you conduct these events?
Yep. So at the free ones that we've been running, which are just purely networking, we've been doing it at cafes. We've been doing it online. There's a cafe in Adelaide. Hi, guys at Soho Coffee Roasters who have put up with me having little sessions there with people. They've been great. And here in Melbourne, Little Chloe's Cafe have been helping me out with a little spot when I've got little meetings going on. But I've also got my office space here in Melbourne as well. So I have access to a room there. But I also do it online because sometimes it's just easier because people live in so many different places. So a bit of everything. But I'm trying to connect and learn mental health ones in person because it is mental health. I think we need to come together as a group to do training on that because it can be a little bit confronting. And it's kind of, if
Yeah.
you're all together, you can support each other through it if something does come up within that session.
A live wire. You've got energy. You have got energy. So when it comes to networking, can you give anyone out of any advice that would like to attend your event? Like if you're shy, what they could do to, engage with you?
Just just turn up. You don't even have to talk. I'm quite happy for you to sit there and other people do all the talking. If you're gonna get something from it or make a connection, I do not mind. It's a safe space. I don't want anybody to feel threatened. What happens in the session stays in the session. If it's an online one, yes, I record it, but it just stays on my files just for me. It never gets broadcast anywhere. No one's email addresses get shared without anybody's permission. No photos are shared without permission. It's a very, very safe space. And I call it the cone of silence. So whatever is said in any environment stays in that environment unless there's something you want it to be out, and I will happily share it for you. But I'm just very conscious of that. And I also say to people, if you're going to talk about your work, don't use people's real names, your clients' real names, or their last names or anything like that. Just keep it very generic because we want to make it as safe as possible and not, keep confidentiality at the same time. So, yeah, you don't have to come and participate. You can come and listen, whatever, or just, lurk in the background. I don't mind. As long as you get something from it and feel safe, that's all I want from it.
So, all do you post them all through our Facebook group or LinkedIn? Where can we find your events if somebody would like to attend?
You can find them everywhere. You can find them on LinkedIn. You can stalk my Instagram, which is just my company name, Ethical Teaching Solutions. My Facebook groups,
Yeah,
go to my Facebook page, my personal profile on Facebook. I'm an open book, really. I
yeah.
really have nothing to hide, so oh, I've got TikTok. I forget about that. I've been playing with that lately, doing TikTok lives. It's doing my head in. I don't really get it. But hey, it's just something else to play with.
It's not for me. I did the Instagram lives for a bit and I enjoyed it, but I think, yeah, just got, I don't know, like I think I felt a bit paranoid, like, oh, who'd want to listen to Sarah? Like, it's silly. I know, like we all, I don't know you, but I at times suffer from imposter syndrome. Like, what have I got to give? I've only done this for 17 years. Whatever.
Yeah, I just find it weird. Like people will sit there and you can see little names, they're watching you, but no one's like participating. So you're like, am I talking to people? They could be sitting on the toilet watching me for all I know. Like that's a bit weird, right? My little mind starts ticking overtime going, this is a bit weird. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, weird.
It's, yeah, my social media presence is very when it comes to lives, I don't know, I just don't do them. I don't get a kick out of it. If I'm gonna do it, I wanna make sure that I have created educational content that, people will watch and watch and watch, and I just felt like the lives I didn't get as much people watching to get that kick out of it, that they learned something from it, so like a take home. I always that
Yeah.
if I'm gonna do it, that's the reasons why I do it, if that makes any sense, yeah. But,
Yeah.
I asked you this question. How did you come up with your business name? What made you pick your business name?
That was probably the one of the most easiest things I've had to do. I was at work as I was planning to set up this company, and I'm like, "What is lacking around me?" Oh, that's right. So that's how the ethical part came to it. And then, of course, what am I doing? I'm training people and giving them solutions. ethical training solutions. Literally dreamed it up in 5 minutes, and I was just looking around myself at work going, "Oh, yeah, lacking ethics, ethical training solutions." And then it's good because it shortens to ETS,
I
so the
see.
acronyms, well, it worked perfectly.
I can see there was a gap in the market and you went for it.
Big gap.
How do you support others in your team to keep learning and improving? Because if you, like you said before, that you have other trainers in different states and offshore, how do you ongoingly train them to make sure that they're compliant to your business?
Yeah, but I always check in on everyone. I always check what they're doing. I mean, not micromanaging, but I also give them training as well. Javid, the guy in Pakistan, my VA, he sits in on all my meetings across everything. He probably knows more about the Australian education system than I do, to tell you the honest truth. And I like to give people the opportunity to grow, so to come with me with ideas. And, I value my staff's ideas. It's not all about my brain, they're part of it as well. And if they come up with ideas, share them with me. Let's try them. Let's see if it works. And I feel that way I'm mentoring them as well.
Do you take on new trainers? So anybody that has done their training and assessing or has been a teacher would like to get into this sector, what is one way to get your attention for you to consider them as a hire?
Just send me a message, say hi, let's start a conversation and see where it goes. I never say no, but I like to see where it goes. You could send me your CV and we can have a chat. And then, 6 months down the track, something might happen. I'll be like, "Oh, I remember talking to that person 6 months ago. This role would suit them." So don't ever think if you send me something now and nothing comes of it, you never know in this industry. Things happen fast.
Yeah. And if anyone wanted to pop in, where is your office located?
Yeah. So in Melbourne, I'm based in South Yarra in the Como building. So I have a little office there. I'm not there that often because I travel a lot. So I'm between Melbourne and Adelaide quite a bit. So usually I always say it's by appointment. Don't just turn up. Simon at the desk will be like, "Nah, she's not here," because most times I'm not
Yeah.
there. Tell the honest truth. So I always say by appointment. That's the best way to schedule an appointment with me. And yeah, happy to meet you when I'm ever here in Melbourne or wherever I am. Adelaide, I just use a cafe at the moment on my apartment. And, if I've got other venues so that I can rent out and that. So yeah, but just best send me an email wherever I am in this world, even if it's on a plane somewhere. Yeah. Hey, I'm happy to meet up with you if I can.
So where do you see your business 10 years from now?
Yeah. Well, if you told me 10 years ago I'd be where I am now, I'd be like, huh? I well, just recently, in the past month, we signed a new training contract with a national training provider, which opens up the doors nationally. Hey, that's so now I can do more things in Adelaide, more things in Melbourne, and we're slowly branching out to Perth as well. So we're just kind of creeping around this side of Australia. It's a slow burn. I'm not just waking up and going, "Hi, yeah, let's do it." A lot of research has gone into this and a lot of thought. It's not just an overnight process. So far Melbourne, Adelaide, but I want to add some more sort of states as needed when I see a need for training in those areas. So maybe 10 years' time, the whole of Australia, maybe New York is next. Who knows? I don't know. I go with the flow.
So when you got this provider that you've been able to work for, did you have to tender or was it through networking? How did you get yourself into that position to be able to grow your business?
Yeah, it was a lot of research, and I don't mean like a good, nearly 12 months of research, looking at the compliance, the training, thinking about it. A lot goes into it. And then it was their compliance. They had to vet me, and that took a good 3 months. They had to go through all my qualifications, police checks, make sure that all my quals were compliant, and that's a long, long process. From my teaching degrees to my training and assessment. I also, in that process, upskilled and did some short courses in mental health as well, so I could train some mental health things. So that took time. It was a really, really long process. And with any training partner that I've ever taken on board, it's a long process. It's not I mean, I've had a lot of RTOs now who contact me going, "We'd love to partner with you." I'm like, "Yeah, no, bye, next, please." Because I take pride in the fact anybody that I put my name to has to have the same ethics as I do, as my company does. So it's a long, long process.
How do you filter that? Because some people present so well, and it's only after a couple of months or a bit longer than that, you go, "Oh, our values don't actually align."
Yeah, a lot of stalking like you did with me. A lot of to be honest, transparent. I mean, it's a public forum out there, right? You give me your name, I'll put my little FBI cap on and go, "Oh, what can I find out?" So yeah, a lot of that. And you hear things in the network as well. Like the training industry is kind of a small industry. You meet people on the way, you hear things, you stalk the people you hear about or the companies that you hear about. And there's government websites and reports when people have reported training organizations. You go there and check, is there any little things I should be wary of? Look at their compliance history. Yeah. And you kind of go with a gut feeling as well. If something looks right, it checks out. Yeah. But hey, I can cancel a contract at any time. And I'm very careful how many students or whatever I'll the training provider to start with because I wanna try it out before I put till I go any further. So I've got my little process, but a lot of stalking, unfortunately, and I hate doing that. I feel bad.
No, I call it investigating. I'm
Stalking and
investigating
investigating.
because if I like you, if I'm going to put my name to something and my brand to something, it needs to align with me. And if it doesn't align, I don't want it. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's right, and, if you're putting yourself out in the public sphere, on socials and things like that, you're fair game, and you're there to be stalked or to be investigated, right? You can't hide. I mean, you can put crap up or whatever, but I'm gonna find out a little bit more about you, right? That's how it is. You're out in the public.
They're just going to see that Sarah has a lot of bad Mondays.
I've been seeing you on Monday, but I can relate to some of your bad Mondays, and Mondays are my worst day, but it used to be Wednesday. I used to have wacky Wednesdays when the weirdest stuff would happen on a Wednesday. I don't know why, but that's changed to Monday now, so it could be Tuesday next year. Who knows?
I just have this theory that bad stuff happen on a nice day. It sounds really terrible, but like the sun is shining, the birds are singing, and then bam, nothing bad happens on a rainy day. Like it's crap outside, but nothing like terrible happens. Like I'm off
So
the
true.
podcast right now, but I completely like I honestly feel like weather sunny day misleading.
I'm
Yeah.
actually yeah, I can see that.
So if anybody wanted to network with you and to find your organization to, be a student, what is the best way to get to you?
You can go to my website, which is just ethicaltrainingsolutions.com.au. As I said, I'm an open book. I'm everywhere on socials. So just Yvette Salvaris or Ethical Training Solutions. I'm out there. Send me a message any way you can. I'm open door and I never miss a message because my assistant always makes sure I never miss a message because he knows how crazy I'll get and he'll message me saying you've got a message. So you can find, send me a message.
And you cater for all levels of students that come to you
Yes.
from ages to different backgrounds and such.
Yeah. Well, really, you should be over 18 or have left school. It gets a bit hard when you're at school to do these kind of courses. There's a lot of ethics behind that. Yeah, like there is no barrier to learning all cultures. Even if you've got a disability, I'm sure there's something we can find as well that would suit you. Whether it's, as I said, sometimes it's better for people to do a shorter course like your CPD, your continual professional development little skill sets before you go on to a larger course because that gives you a bit of a taster as to what to expect. So there's different ways of doing it depending on how you feel, especially if you haven't studied for a while. If you're a mature age student going back to studying, sometimes it's better to do something really little that's not going to affect your funding or anything like that. That's a little taster before going into something bigger.
And have you got any advice for anybody wanting to study? Is there things that they should do before getting to a training organization?
Yeah, make sure you wanna do the course, but you don't really know until you do it anyway. But I always say, just give it a go, right? Like, don't be scared. Education's not scary. It's not chalkboards, whiteboards, not with me anyway. It's not PowerPoint. It's not falling asleep. It's not scary assessments. Yeah, you gotta do assessments, but we're here to help. Trainers, teachers, we're all here to help you, not to trick you or put you in a bad position. So do that training. Don't put it off. Don't think you're gonna get somewhere in the care industry without training behind you. Please go out there and do something. I know there's a lot of support workers working without quals. If you think, "I don't need it, it's a waste of time." No, it's not. You're dealing with really vulnerable people here who really need your help, and you have to be the best that you can be, and you're gonna do that by educating yourself.
Yep. I will put my hand up and say that I have been stung by a training organization in the past because they fell over. And it meant that as they fell over, all the things that I learned didn't move across. If anybody is in this situation now where the training provider has fallen over or gone into administration, can they reach out to you to try get? Oh God,
Yeah.
I'm going to use the wrong word here.
I don't deal with uphill, but I do deal with a lot of students who are in that predicament. As long as they've got
Yeah.
paperwork, you can work with some of our training providers to help you with that. We've done a lot of students like that. It's not that uncommon, let's put it that way. But, I'm happy to even have a discussion. If I can't help you, I can refer you on to someone who can. But it's all about documentation. I won't deal with RPL just because the training organizations that mainly do RPL, some of them are really, really sketchy, and I refuse to enter into any ticker flick things. I'd rather you do the proper course than just turn up and get a tick and a flick because I don't want my name or my reputation against anything that's going to harm others. And that's my honest,
So
my
from sitting courses from with you, it actually can lead you into other career advances from there. Have you been able to work with a student that has started doing a course with you and then took the next step up to do more into that sector and expand their career?
Yeah, well, the childcare student that started just doing her Cert 3, did her diploma, went and worked as an educator and is now as a team leader. So she's, a room leader, and she's gone right through. I think she might even go further if she wants to, but that's up to her. A lot of people like to stop there. They don't want to go into the coordination direction, all that sort of stuff. Some people are just happy as room leader. That's enough. I've got my little group to work with, sort of thing. That's probably been the main student that I was working with to get them there. Some people even go on to be trainers. I'll work for 5 or 6 years. One of my students, she's worked for 7 years in the industry and now is going on to be a trainer. Has just finished doing a TAE and has now pivoted to go and work in training. And she's done long day care, outside school hours care. She's been a director. She's been everything. And now she wants to go on and bit of a full circle after 7 or 8 years, and I just helped her get into her training for that. So there's different things that I've seen.
Does that feel good?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I've nurtured someone right through their whole career. I've even nurtured people that get to the end and go, "I don't wanna do this shit anymore. What am I gonna do now?" So I've done that as well. So yeah, it does feel good to see the progression of people and also know that they're out there doing good, I guess you could say, helping people.
Is that why you do what you do?
Yeah, I like helping people and I like to know and I hope that what I'm doing is making a difference, not just to the students, but to the people they work with as well. So it's a full circle. I like full circles. It all comes together.
Is there anything that you would like? I know that you gave me a sneaky before that you're expanding into next year. Is there anything else, other news that you'd love to share in this podcast?
No, no, no. I think that's enough the expanding bit because that's as far as I've got. It's November. I'm not really sure what's happening forward from that. But just expanding nationally, there's nothing really else that I have on the horizon. I'm gonna have my hands full just expansion wise. That's probably a lot to deal with, especially getting staff organized and things like that. It's been a process to get Adelaide set up, let alone move into the Perth sphere in 2026. That's kind of the next level.
Sounds all exciting.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun. Might work, might not. Let's see what happens. Can't sit around and wonder. Just got to do it and give it a go. Yep.
Thank you
Yep.
so much tonight. I really,
Thank
you are you're a hoot. I
Longest
I
me.
hope I get to go to one of your networking events in Melbourne. You've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
such
Well,
good
just
energy.
Yeah, keep an eye out for them. We like to have fun.
Easy. Thank you so much for tonight, Yvette. And I didn't call you spaghetti, so I feel like that's a win for me. Thank you so much for the podcast.
That's okay. Thanks for having me, Sarah. Been a great chat.